Hey y'all, Coach in the Fight here. Got my man Tyler in the house. How you doing, Tyler?
I'm good, man. How you doing today?
Doing well, doing well. So Tyler is, I wouldn't say visiting. We're kind of welcoming him back to the community. So we're kind of hoping he come, visit more often. So
And
we,
will, I will.
all right. So we want to welcome him to the show. This is the first time he's been here on Hermes Academy. All right. Got any questions about any of them?
I got like a million questions, but I couldn't point out where to start exactly.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, what we had in mind, and notice it's kind of impromptu, but what we had in mind is kind of talk about your story. What happened to you? Yeah, you told us a little bit about it,
Right.
find it quite interesting.
Yeah.
And I was kind of wanting you to share it with us. Now, before you get started, just letting you know, just introducing you to our audience a little bit. We understand that you are firstborn male of,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, correct.
How many brothers and sisters you got?
Well, I have one brother and one sister.
Okay. Cool. Okay. And then you are of Hebrew descent. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
And you're about how old are you?
I'm 34 years of age.
So that puts you in your priesthood time then.
Does it?
Yeah, good question. But we're not. We're gonna save that one for another class. Tyler's in for the first day here. He's been around for a little while, and we've been hoping he'd come and do a class with us. But this is the first day he's actually come in.
Okay.
So we're gonna try to put up a class here. Now it's gonna have to be an impromptu class because we really haven't put anything together. But what comes to mind first of all is what? The Feast of Trumpets. What do you think about that?
I don't know a whole lot about it.
All right. Well, let's talk about it. First of all, let's go to the scripture, and we're looking at BibleGateway.com, and we'll look what it says. Now, the first one that comes up, the suggested result is from Revelation chapter 8. You want to read it? You want me to read it?
You can read it.
All right. Revelations 8, I'm not sure what verse it is. It says, and when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. Well, let's talk about this part right here where it talks about space of a half an hour. Now, I did the calculation on this thing. It comes out to be about a week. I think we did a whole class on it. I'm not sure. It may have been one of them little short classes, but and I'm definitely not going to go through the math right here. But it turns out to be about a week. A week of no prayer, a week of silence in heaven, meaning your prayer won't be answered.
Right.
So, and this is during the most tribulous times, the most bitter of days, the hardest times when people are really, really crying out, Lord help me, Lord help me, Lord help me. And guess what?
What?
Heaven gonna be shut. Ain't nobody gonna be, ain't no prayer.
You should be used to that now,
What? No, your prayers get answered now.
Okay. I mean, if you got patience,
Oh yeah, okay.
Right,
You're gonna have to have some patience then.
Got plenty of it.
All right. It says, and I saw the seven angels which...
You need some?
Patience? I need.
I need you a little bit.
Yeah, okay, great. It said, I saw seven angels which stood before God. Okay, you know about these seven angels?
I don't.
Okay, now we got, in the scripture, in Revelations, you got seven angels who have vials and seven angels who have trumpets. Okay, and I could pull it up. We'll come back to it. We'll do it. We'll look at a class or do a whole new class on it. All right. It says, and to them were given seven trumpets. Now these are where it talks about it in terms of trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar. Now the altar, to understand the altar, you got to go all the way back to book of Exodus.
Okay, what's your explanation of altar?
Which explanation do you want? The spiritual explanation or the material explanation?
Okay, you got too many explanations.
Which one you want? Which one you want?
The one explanation of an altar.
Okay, well, the one explanation was, since I can only answer because, the spiritual altar basically is the real one. The other one was just like a living parable, that was kind of put up like an example. But that example is the same thing. It's just on a spiritual level of what's actually built inside of us.
Right.
And what's built in our conscience. So we're talking about the conscience, we're talking about the spirit man, we're talking about a whole bunch of other stuff that I have no idea, about. But, anyway, let's move on. Having a golden censer. The golden censer, that was belonging to Aaron. Now, see, what's going on here, the only way to basically explain it to you is to go to the altar. Let's do that right quick, just for fun.
Oh, that looked like a mini castle.
Yeah, that was Herod's temple. Herod. That's the guy that killed all of the babies there with Jesus. Or John the Baptist. Remember that story? In the book of Matthew.
Kids.
Yeah, he had all the
trying to kill Jesus.
Yeah.
But he couldn't. Well, he didn't.
Right.
Yeah, I remember.
Here's where they slaughtered the animals here. That was the first thing. Then you had this place where they washed their hands here.
Okay.
Now, after they washed their hands, they went through this place here. Now, notice this tent area around here.
Right.
This area around here is kind of like the outer boundary. But in here, there's a veil in this area blocking this area in here. Now, inside of this area, you have the candlestick. You have the brazen altar or the incense where they burn the incenses in here. And you have some other stuff in here. You have the Ark of the Covenant, which is way over in this area over here. Now this is where Moses went in and talked to the Father right here. The Father came down in a beam of light between these two cherubim right here on this and talked to Moses face to face. When Moses would come out, his face would be glowing, lit up, shining. But now once a year, Aaron would go in here. Only once a year, Aaron would go in. Aaron was the only other person that was allowed to go in. Once a year, Aaron would go in with a rope tied around his leg.
Why?
Because if he wasn't clean, he was going to die. And they would drag him out.
That'd be like suicide stuff in there. Clean.
Well, he was a human representative. Aaron is now an angel. He is the covenant angel. He is this angel that you hoping will guide you through this, not really the tribulation. That's Elijah. That's a whole nother angel. But the one that was kind of getting you up here was the covenant angel. And so yeah, and now that he's taken over that position, guess who goes into the temple now?
Who?
The Messiah. The Messiah goes in there now, and that's a real small one. All right. So let's go back to the verses. We get an idea. So all of this stuff is in there. Golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense. Okay, the incense are the prayers, and I believe it says it there, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar, which is before the throne.
Right.
Okay. Now, this stuff, at one point it was material, and it was a real live, thing. But now it's all inside of us. It's in our, it's all that spiritual stuff that, people will be trying to understand.
Right.
But let's go on down here to Leviticus 23. Now, we can put this in full context. And for funsies, let's go ahead and grab another translation at almost random. It kind of picks the last one we were looking at, and it's the Living Bible. And see what it says. It says, you want to read it? Go ahead and read it.
No, you read it, man.
Which one you want to read? Any, many, mighty, mo, catch verse by its toe.
Read the first
I did say verse, didn't I? I meant to say side. But we're going to go with the King James first. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, on the first day of the month. Okay? Now when is that?
The 7th day. That's the first Sunday of every month.
Close. That's close.
Well, what's the 7th day then?
It says in the 7th month on the first day of the month. Well, you have to think in terms of moon and lunar month and Hebrew calendar and Hebrew month and sacred calendar. Yeah. So now, when you think of the word September, that actually means 7th.
Month 7.
Month 7. Yeah.
The 7th day of September.
No. Well, you have to understand that there are multiple calendars. Well, let's see what we can find on here. We're not going to jump over there and look at the Enoch calendar because that will involve pulling out cell phones and linking other data. But let's come on here and see.
That's supposed to be the first day of the month. First. That's like September the 1st.
Yeah, but we have to think in terms of a different calendar.
You got to find out what calendar are you going by then.
Okay. All right. Hold on. We're going to go find out what calendar. We'll be right back. All right. So, what do you think now?
About what?
I don't know. What were we talking about?
We were talking about the time.
Yeah. Well, now we were talking about Leviticus 23, talking about in the 7th month. All right. So now we understand a little bit more about what they're talking about on the 7th month. We understand that they're talking about a whole nother calendar. Not necessarily January, February, March, April, May, such and such and such. It's talking about a whole other calendar. Matter of fact, let's jump over here and look what I'm talking about. Tyler, praise the Lord, is actually brand new to all of this. Let's see, Hebrew.
Or am I?
Or are you? You might just be testing me, huh? Like they say, if you can't explain something to your grandmother, you really don't know what you're talking about. All right. So now you're getting the idea that it's a whole nother calendar system. No, or are you? Let's look at something you may be a little bit more familiar with. Let's see. We're still gonna go with Google. The original goal of the Gregorian calendar was to change the date of Easter. See, that was the calendar that we use now.
Right.
Is this calendar that we're talking about, the Gregorian calendar. That's what everybody goes to church with, work with. That shows you where Easter's at, Halloween, your birthday, your grandma's birthday, everything. In 1582, when Pope Gregory the 8th introduced his Gregorian calendar, Europe adhered. See, that's why they call it the Gregorian calendar, because Pope Gregory. And he didn't make much changes to the calendar that was already in existence. He really didn't. He just changed the date of Easter because it didn't line up to where he wanted it to be. Now, some could argue that he wanted it to line up with 2018, which he wanted Easter to fall right on the day on Passover, where you were supposed to be drinking wine and having communion. You might have been out there looking for Easter eggs and chocolate bunnies.
Oh, not me.
No, praise
I
the Lord.
probably was drinking wine.
Yeah, you was, because that's right. You remember we had talked about it. Anyway. Europe adhered to the Julian calendar. Now, they was on a different calendar, and it was in error. It was messed up. The dates was messed up. They didn't like them. And it says first implemented by Julius Caesar in 46 BC. So now that calendar had been in effect since 46 BC. So from 46 BC you had one calendar, and then in 1582 you changed to another calendar. You say, well, what did they have before 46?
Right.
Well, at one point they had a calendar that had 10 days in it. Let's go on down. We might have to go to something like a Wikipedia or something.
I don't know. A month with 10 days?
Yeah, 10 days, and I can reference Wikipedia or reference a whole lot of other.
I'm saying a month, 10 days a month.
10 days in a week. Matter of fact, you saw that down at the house of David. You saw a calendar. He showed you a calendar with 10 days in it.
I saw the calendar, but I didn't know
It
what I
had
was
10 days.
looking
It had 3 rows on his calendar. Remember, it only had 3 rows. It had 10 days, 30-day months.
at. Okay.
Well, the reason why they did that, I ain't saying the house of David did that. See right here. Well, no. The reason why they did that was because really they wanted to take the creator out of the work week. They wanted to, because of the 7-day week. Everybody was reminded of the Sabbath day and taking off a day of work and all of that. And he didn't want nobody taking off a day of work on the Sabbath. So he made it. Man, I'm talking about. He made it 10 days, and he gave you, I think, 3 days off. You worked 7 days, got 3 days off, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all right. This one, let's see. Wikipedia is going well. Let's see. Well, we don't have to go into too much detail. You understand that there's different calendars. You have distant days, so now, and you have Chinese calendars, you have Russian calendars.
Right.
But this calendar here that we're talking about over here is the Enoch calendar, or the lunar calendar, the month calendar, and you have to use the month to follow.
All right.
Okay, so it says in the first day of the month. Okay, so it's a very specific month, very specific day, and it's coming up very soon. Shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation. So a Sabbath day means a rest day. It's not a work day. Right. And we can have a class on Sabbath day, or you can look at one we already done, or some people have done something. As long as it's based on Jubilees, because if they ain't talking about the last chapter there in Jubilees, they may be missing something. But and then it says a memorial blowing of trumpets. Now the word trumpet here is substituted a lot of times for horn or shofar. Well, that's a word they use now, I believe. But like that's the one right there. That's the one I blow right there. Let's go on. Let's wrap this up. Let's take this verse right here. Go ahead and read it, Tyler. 25.
Man, you can read way better than me, man. Go ahead.
Go ahead and read it.
Go ahead. It's only 3 sentences. Go.
Ye shall do no servile work therein. What that mean to you? Having or showing excessive willingness to serve or please others. So to me that sounds like a servant, like a waitress, like a housekeeper, like a butler, like a maid, like that's what that sounds like to me.
That's the excessiveness though.
Serving, yeah, that's serving like others, like serving, no serving. To me this saying that you don't
excessiveness, but that's like slavery.
Yeah, slavery to the point.
But that was not willingly. People weren't slaves, so it had to be excessive and willingness.
Okay.
Somebody willing to do that, somebody willing to be.
Yeah,
that sounds like how the people should be to God and his servants. That's how them the only serviles it should be.
Having or showing excessive willingness to serve or please others. All right, here's the other definition. Of or characteristics of a slave or slave. So, okay.
See, I ain't even read that. I ain't see that definition. And I said number 1, it was pertaining to the first definition.
All right, so let's go back over here and see what it says. But it says, ye shall do no servile work therein. Now later on it's going to say do no work at all. So what would be the difference between doing no work and doing no servile work?
Servile work, you're doing that willingly for someone. You mean to do that. No work at all. If they're telling you to sit down, don't do no work, then that sounds like you should sit down.
All right, gotcha. I think you're right. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Okay, now what does that mean?
Come again, read that again.
But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. What is an offering made by fire?
That sounds like an awesome offering there. I wouldn't know.
That's a hard one. I was hoping the Spirit was going to talk. We're going to move you to spit something out real quick. But yeah, that's where the Bible study begins. What is an offering made by fire? There's a lot of, well, there's not a lot. there should be a lot more people talking about what exactly that is.
It's just the part where it says made by fire that'll throw me off, you know.
You remember when we was talking about Leviticus earlier? And how we're supposed to listen to that book every week?
Right.
That's where he defines it. And a little bit in the last book of Exodus is where he defines it. In the first book of Leviticus and toward the latter part of Exodus, he talks about the offering made by fire. So maybe we'll do a class on that next.
Maybe.
What do you think about this class?
Well, all of them, I get something out of all of them, so you couldn't do one that I wouldn't get anything from.
All right, cool. All right, well, we're out. This is Mr. Tyler. Y'all welcome him to the show. Leave a comment. You know, we need some more guys around here like we said in the other one. We got a big old table here. We can fit about 10 people around this table. What you think, Tyler?
How much?
We need to get some more. We need to get some more around here, y'all. All right, hit the like button, subscribe. Herman's Academy. Power, patience, continence, and faith. We teach virtue.